Ittam Svabhetra Garitam Bhagavan Mahitvam Krishnangri Padma Madulinna Punarvishishta Maya Guneshwara Mate Vrijinavaheshu Anyastu Kamahat Atmaraja Pramashtum Iheta karma yata eva rajaha punasya. Devotees who always lick the honey from the lotus feet of the Lord Krishna do not care for all the material activity which are performed under the three modes of material nature, which bring only misery. Indeed, devotees never give up the lotus feet of Lord Krishna and return to the material activities. Others, however, are addicted to the Vedic rituals because they have neglected the service of the Lord's lotus feet and are enchanted or lusty desires, sometimes perform acts of atonement. Nevertheless, being incompletely purified, they return to the sinful activities again and again. Yesterday we were developing on a similar point. I got some nice thoughts shared in the evening. The point is this. You see, in Bhagavatam there is a narration where the Sajan and Naimisharanya are hearing to Suta Goswami. This point I brought in the evening. So what happens at that moment? Suddenly, Suta Goswami wants to talk about the appearance of Kali Purusha. So he says there was one situation where a cow and a bull were almost being killed by Kali Purusha. And Parikshit Maharaj landed there. And he sufficiently punished that person, Kali Purusha. So the sages at Naimisharanya, they hear this. Wait a minute. Number one, is it related to Krishna? Number two, what is it sufficiently? You should have killed him. You know? So the value in a Vedic culture of cow protection was very strong. At the same time, they are more focused on hearing the Leela of Krishna. You try to understand agriculture, cow protection, charity, old age homes, orphanages. Yeah? All these finally become upadharma. Yeah? There may be some person only taking care of cow but doesn't chant Hare Krishna. It's not complete. So these are all things will help you to achieve Krishna consciousness, but finally they are all supportive. At the end of the day, I have to chant Hare Krishna, I have to hear about Krishna. But these things definitely will bring you to the platform. But if you do not do Krishna consciousness, they have no use. So the various Vedic literatures talk about all these different kind of items. You know, this direction do this. This direction do this, here do this. These are all upadharmas. That's why I was telling yesterday, that's the problem is most of the Brahmanas. They only are bothered about the rituals. They forget their purpose is to develop love of God. They forget this very purpose. Correct? I have to develop a love for the Lord. No. They get lost into dry, not only rituals, we call it dry rituals. And it is actually becoming more and more difficult to perform. In our Sampradaya also, it was from Madhavendra Puri that the pleasure of service to Krishna was, therefore he is called the Kalpataru. The pleasure of service to Krishna was best to take. And then it becomes very sweet. This becomes very unique actually. The whole Sampradaya from Madhavendra Puri becomes very unique. The ecstasy, in fact, Madhavendra Puri showed what is known as Mahabhava, the immense pleasure in service to Krishna at the highest level, which is only known to Radharani and also known to Lord Chaitanya, who is a combined form of Krishna and Radharani. But no Jiva knew about it. So that he was the first personality to come to that platform of intense love for Krishna. So generally people are after the Vedic rituals, the Vedic ritualistic ceremonies. So our Krishna consciousness we should check out. If you are really on the platform like Suta Goswami, who are drinking the pleasure of hearing about Krishna, the sages and Naimisharanya, they are hearing with great pleasure. And Suta Goswami, they are telling, speak, speak, speak. It's so much nectar. And the slightest they heard something which is not related to pleasure of Krishna, or devotion service to Krishna, even being a protection of the cow, keep it aside. We are interested to hear about Krishna Leela. That level of strictness is needed actually. Otherwise, if somebody is talking about something, generally some good things only people speak. That happened, in that place, this happened. You kept the power? In that place, this happened, that happened, and some, nice thing. Some person was in great difficulty. And we become very eager to hear. What is the newspaper filled with? So many things, mostly garbage, and then they have something called good news. Here was this person was there, and this village there was no water, and the villagers, they did this, and then the water came. And very nice, we feel very happy to hear. That means they still not attained Krishna consciousness. If you are in Krishna consciousness and nothing else we should become eager to hear. This is there, that is there. But is it relating to the pleasure of the honey of the lotus feet of Krishna? No, don't hear. We should not be eager to hear. Sometimes, Vyavharika level, you meet something. For a few minutes we have to say, okay, you are this, okay, you are doing this, you are doing this. But as such, we know at the heart, this is not what I am eager to hear. Just by hearing, your life is changing. The question is, what are you hearing 24 hours? Morning I am hearing chanting, then what I am hearing? Because I am hearing my mind. If I am not hearing Bhagavad Gita, I am hearing my mind. And my mind is only fruity. Fruity means mind is always looking for sense gratification because of the sadhaka stage. That is the condition of the mind. So we have to put the mind continuous. Don't give him rest. Don't give the mind a break. Mind wants a break. Don't give him break. There is no rest in Krishna consciousness. Now one day I'll rest. Enough. No chanting anything. In the normal material field, it is like that. Office, we get 2 days holiday, we are very happy. Correct? There is no holiday in Krishna consciousness. Holiday means Maya. Total Maya. Therefore it is said, Savai pumsa para dharma yatha bhakti adoshuje ahituki apratihata yayatma suprasidati. This is the nature of pure devotion service. That is the topmost. Paro dharma. Not para dharma. Paro means topmost dharma. Yatha bhakti adokshuje, which gives you devotion to the Supreme Lord. And what is the kind of that devotion? With this causeless, ahetuki, and apratihata, which is without any. Right. And then what happens? Yayatma suprasidati, completely give pleasure to the soul. So what is the pleasure to the soul? So ahetuki, without any cause. Not that I am doing it because I want peace of mind. Not that I am doing it, but there is a break. There can be no break. It should be continuously engagement. Correct? Even though we may be engaged in material activities, still we are remembering Krishna. That this is very important. And so many ways we do that actually. When you are sitting in the class, you are thinking always of something else. So why not think about Krishna? And you are thinking of something else. So it's not very difficult to practice. Prabhupada gives an example. Just like a mother may be at home and doing so many work, when she sees socks of the child or something, at least when the children are very small, remembering the child. How is the child? Whether he is eaten, he is okay. Correct? Mother's immediately mind goes. The same way our mind should run for Krishna's lotus feet constantly. Now this honey that is being talked about here, what kind of honey it is? It is a spiritual pleasure, which is compared to honey. In the Vedic literature, what do you compare? Because there is nothing in this world which you can compare actually, because spiritual world is, we cannot see. We say Krishna's hand is like lotus flower. Now lotus you can see, but you cannot see Krishna's hand. So we give a symbolism. So similarly, it is not that Krishna's hand you see one lotus will be there. No. The hand is so beautiful, it is like a lotus. Because that's the most beautiful thing in this world is lotus. So similarly, when you say honey, because honey is very sweet when it is properly made. And when you take the honey, it is like Krishna, pleasure of the Krishna's lotus feet. Therefore, we cannot understand what is Lakshmi doing. Mother Lakshmi is only massaging the lotus feet of Krishna. And she cannot stop it. Oh, so sweet it is. Because that's a honey. Spiritual honey. She feels so much pleasure in the heart. And completely giving herself to the lotus feet of the Lord. So this is what to be trained in the sense that if I am having a higher pleasure, lower pleasure should be out. Yesterday we developed that point that we are having the pleasure or devotion service to Krishna. Nothing else I wanted to hear. I don't want to hear about all the sattvic activities. He held her. Rubbish. Complete rubbish. You're not interested. Rajasic activities. He ran after that girl after him. And tamasic activities, sleeping, drinking. So if this state is still there, that means I have not got the spiritual pleasure. If you got a higher pleasure, lower pleasure should not be interesting to you. That means you're making a show. You don't have higher pleasure. Somebody asked Prabhupada, mind is very disturbing. Correct? I told you so many times. Prabhupada said, you're making a show. You're not a devotee. Because if you are actually a devotee means what? Not sentiment, not hallucination. Devotee means he is feeling the pleasure in service to Krishna. Not like a Raganuga, but some pleasure should be there. How can you do devotion service? You cannot chant every day without it. If there is no pleasure, how can you chant? You cannot chant. It will become very mechanical. But true, do it better than not doing. But there has to be some happiness. Person should be convinced of at least he should be convinced of the purifying power of the holy name. If I concentrate and chant Hare Krishna mantra, my mind is washed. This should be a daily experience. Correct? This is not a story. It's an experience. Prataksha. I can see when I sit down and chant. Therefore, the person should concentrate very, very attentively and with a submissive attitude. Prabhupada says, he looks for the shelter of the Lord like a child looks for the mother's shelter. When a child is in trouble, what does it do? Just calls for mother. So we are all in trouble. We have no access to spiritual consciousness. So we with proper service attitude and proper attention, we chant the holy names of the Lord. And at least this experience we should have every day of purifying power of the holy name. Okay? And then when you chant, you are chanting enthusiastically. Otherwise, we are doing it very mechanically, making like Prabhupada says, a parrot. A parrot, always, there are some parrots you can chant Hare Krishna. You have seen that? That videos are there in YouTube also, you can see. Hare Krishna, Hari Bol, Hari Bol. You have seen parrots doing that? You have seen Ram Ram. Parrots can do. Now, but when you catch the neck, he doesn't say Ram Ram. He says Kain. He is not realized. He is just doing mechanically. But still good. Chanting the name of God is good for anybody. But for the realization should be there. Otherwise, at the point of death, you will do Kain only. You will not say Krishna. Because we all have to say, just like final exam is there, it's so scary. 12th class final exam. or your whatever you're taking, medicine or engineering. Now they made for medicine also one combined exam, NEET, and they had for anyway for some examination for engineering. Okay. So what happens is that how much we are scared of that exam. What if I spoil that exam? Today only we will be thinking, my God, if I get headache during that exam, there's somebody who got loose motion. I don't know, he says so. And he ran. He said, no, very difficult. I cannot do exam. Teacher, I'm sorry, I have to go. So what if that happens? What if you get a headache? True, your body also goes along with the psychology. You have seen that? You have some bodily difficulty, but you are at tension, then nothing you feel. You do. But after that, you are in trouble. Sometimes you are playing football, you have a lot of injuries, you don't come to know. But the moment the game is over, you can't walk also. So body also responds to your tension. But still. So how much you will be careful, thinking about preparing and seeing that you do the exam properly. So they were great Acharya. His name is Kulvechara. What is the name? Kulashekara Alva. Huh? What is the exact name? Anybody know? So he says something very interesting. He says, my Lord, when I am old, I will not be able to chant your name, I think, because there is so much phlegm, in the throat, a garra garra sound comes out. I may not be able to chant your name. Let me die now, when I am able to chant your name. It's so nice, So devotees are thinking in that way, that let me be fully ready. And Krishna is so pleased. In fact, it is at that moment, suppose somebody has been offering devotion service, and actually it becomes very difficult because we are all conditioned. The anxiety will be very high. When the body is collapsing, liver is going, kidney is going. It is Krishna who remembers. And he doesn't want to break the law, because the law is that at that time you have to chant the holy name. The law is that you have to think about him. Krishna gives you the remembrance. So don't think mechanically you can pass even that exam. You need Krishna's help even for that. I don't know, I'm ready. Aane do death. Jor ka bolunga, Hare Krishna. No, you will not be able to do. Because, it's a terrible anxiety and it needs realizations. It needs, theory will not help you. You need total realizations. So if you have been serving Krishna is in so many ways. There was an example of Ambarish Maharaj we can take. It says, Savai Manaha Krishna Padar Vindayo. Ambarish Maharaj, what he did? He was always the mind. He kept in the lotus feet of Krishna. Same, honey at the lotus feet. Always in our mind, we should keep offering obeisance. Physically as much as possible, mentally also. Lord, I am your servant. I am your servant. Savai Manaha Krishna Padar Vindayo. Vachansi Vaikunta Gunanuvanane. From his mouth, he was continuously glorifying the Lord. Karor Harer Mandira Marjana Nadishu. With the hand, he was cleaning the temple of the Lord. Shrutim Chakar Achutashat Kathode. With the ears, he was hearing Krishna's glory. So, point is that with the nose, he was smelling. Every sense should be engaged in Krishna's service. Otherwise, you will do sense gratification. Every sense. Hands. What service I did for Krishna with the hand? We should think every day. With the legs, what service I did? With the mouth, what service I did? Every sense should be engaged in Krishna service. Trap it fully. Then it will be very difficult for Maya to attack you. So there is a great example in Ambarish Maharaj. So in the same way, our effort should also be there, that we work so that we can come to this platform. It's a very fortunate platform. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, just by chanting Hare Krishna mantra, you can come to this platform. Correct. The principal factor in all the services is chanting Hare Krishna. But not that we are chanting Hare Krishna only, because that is also not possible. So some service also we do to Krishna. Correct? Somebody say, I will only do that. Yeah, Haridas Thakur did that. Only did that. He was chanting for 20 hours. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. If you can do that, it's very good. Chant, no problem. There was one devotee who came to Srila Prabhupada. He said, Prabhupada, I will do a lot of service, but after once I read all your books. First I want to understand. Prabhupada said, okay, you can do that, but don't sleep. No, then don't eat. Then Prabhupada was playful. Because he's not doing something. The Prabhupada, no problem. You can eat, but don't sleep. When you're studying means study. Don't in the name of study sleep. Similarly, somebody asks Prabhupada, can I chant whole day? Prabhupada said yes. Actually, if you can chant whole day or read whole day, that's the highest. Because that's the principal factor of pleasing to Krishna. You can say, what is the best dish we have? Sweet rice. That is sweet rice for Krishna. You're offering to Krishna, that is the sweetest thing Krishna loves. Okay? The Prabhupada says, sometimes some devotees struggle to chant 16 rounds. Prabhupada says, give up all your so-called duties, first chant. So that is a primary factor. Somebody asked many times, Prabhupada, what is the thing which is most pleasing to you among everything? What is the most important instruction for us? The chant 16 rounds. That is the first thing. But then, if you can chant whole day, most auspicious. It's not that you stop at 16. Keep chanting. Prabhupada never said you have to chant 16 only. He always said 16 minimum. Because sometimes we are engaged here and there, you cannot. In fact, like some temples, there are pujaris and all, they all chant 64 rounds minimum. Because what to do pujari? He has to do arti and all. What to do next? He keeps chanting. Okay? So if he can do, that's best. But otherwise, whenever time is there, any activity, any service to Krishna, we should be very enthusiastic. Because in service to Krishna, there is nothing higher and lower. Somebody who is decorating the deity, somebody cleaning the fowl, all are equal. For Krishna, there is no higher and lower. Okay? Just like in a body, every organ is important. If you get some accident of the leg, you go to the hospital. You get accident of the head, you go to the hospital. So every service is important in devotion service to Krishna. So we should very enthusiastically do. And as Krishna is pleased, as I said, it is interconnected. When you clean the temple of the Lord, then you will find you are able to understand Krishna's instructions. Because Krishna become pleased. Correct? So every service is very pleasing to Krishna, and it helps ultimately in realizing Krishna. And then we can understand what is talking about the honey. There is an example, the Rupa Goswami's example. Rupa Goswami says, what is this chanting Hare Krishna? I have only 2 ears and 1 mouth. What can I understand? I am not able to taste it, my Lord, enough. I want millions of mouth and millions of ears. Then I will be able to taste this chanting. And it's so beautiful. He says it's so beautiful, this chanting, it captures all the attention of the mind. It has been glorified by great acharyas. These are all realized statements of great acharyas. It's not sentiment, it's not hallucination. For us, therefore, we should work to come to such a platform. There we can feel the great pleasure in chanting the holy name. And then we will understand what is the honey at the lotus feet. Presently it's inspiration. We don't know what it is. You will slowly understand. Srila Prabhupada ki